All right, welcome back to Conscious Evolution. Hello, everybody. My name is Alan. Thank you for joining me. Man, it's been a while. It's been a while. Merry Christmas. I hope you all have had a great holiday um, and enjoyed the time with your family and whatever it is that you may have done today. It feels good to give when you have the ability to give. You ever notice that like when you give presents, it feels better than receiving? Isn't that fascinating? Like our human nature is we get and become more fulfilled and happier when we give, when we help others than receiving the help ourselves. Isn't that interesting? So today I wanted to read chapter 21 of Solomon Speaks. I haven't done a chapter in a while, and I've actually been slowly taking down the chapters that I've been reading. So if you're interested in that, then just email me. I can send you the links to them or something like that. But I don't want to have the whole book up and available for very particular reasons that a subscriber made me aware of recently. So I just think it's a good idea. So, anyways, this chapter is called, well, it's chapter 21. It's about clearing, not complicating. And I thought that was really relevant. I was going to do a show tonight about the story we tell ourselves and in the stories that we identify with. And I was called to do this reading of this chapter, and kind of in a part of this, it kind of relates to what I was going to talk about anyway. So it was very synchronistic and very interesting. Yeah, so I feel guided to do this instead. As you know, I haven't done like a real live stream in a while, so I wanted to do that, but I think I'm going to do that on New Year's Eve if I can. And also, if you haven't seen my last video, I have been working. I'm working like 70 hours a week, and it's really hard to get motivated to continue doing this. And I just felt like taking a break for a while. So, anyways, let's get on with the reading. It's about clearing, not complicating. Chapter 21. You are here to unveil those here with your heart. We carry your life through this medium. We are here to recognize a greater force that permeates your being. It is here to unveil those ideas that are foreign to those with whom you come in contact with. Your life is that which is. It carries with it the entire energy of the universe in its minuscule form. Your life recognizes this fact and excels in telling those who are present to feel those forces within their lives that will carry them into a deeper space. We feel your life recognizes all that is, which contains this force. There are myriad planes of energy that surround our lives. We need to understand and recognize each individual force as its worth in our integrated system of complex energies. These energies formulate a character that carries you through. Your energy feels that force in its entirety. It allows that product to be surfaced through your hands in particular. Your feelings of this energy are in contact with those entities that carry your life forward. You must recognize that the process of integrating this energy into forming it. Sorry, I lost my place. You must recognize that the process of integrating this energy into forming it through your being is a very complex process. It is not simplistic in its nature. You are now understanding the varieties of this force, and you need to hone specific energies as you feel them. There are myriad energies, and you are, in a way, dealing with them as one force, when in actuality, there are a number of very distinctly different types of energy. So you need to recognize those forces and be able to play that energy as carefully as you can. It is now fine-tuning for you. You need to feel the specific energy as it flows through that will best help that individual with whom you come in contact. What is right for one individual is not necessarily right for all. And you have at your access a variety of those forces. In essence, you must allow yourself to create the best force for that person. It comes in your soul, in your spirit. It's aligning your spirit with the spirit of the person you're dealing with. You feel sometimes at a loss in terms of what to do with those specific people, but you only need to recognize their spiritual life and allow that to direct your force. It will automatically connect, and you will feel a greater force. It's like AC and DC. It's very distinct and different. And there are those who operate on one type of force, and there are others who are accepting other energies. You just need to hone your ability to connect with the spiritual life of those people you interact with. You have experimented in the past. Now you need not necessarily experiment, but free yourself of the preconception of what you do and listen to the internal rhythm of your life. Hmm. That will help you far more than cerebrally trying to project a type of energy field onto someone. It's about clearing, not complicating. Your life has much to offer now. It is coming into a greater space that will allow it to really come into contact with those forces. And I speak in terms of other forces that will motivate you into different areas. Welcome these forces, for they are here, or for they are there to propel you to the next step, which you are yet to discover. There may be times when you are feeling very lost, out of touch with yourself. You may feel less centered, confused, but your confusion is part of the process. Let me explain this. You are now in a state of transition, and you have to let go of preconceptions because you are changing the form of energy as it comes through you. And it is going to be intensified as you free yourself from former thinking. Mm. Free yourself from former thinking. If you speak from an egocentric point of view, it also has a lot to do with allowing that to get out of the way. You must concentrate on the work. You mustn't concentrate on what comes from the work. In other words, it's playing the tune, not looking to the audience. You need to really feel the process of what you're doing and not worry about what kind of effect you're going to get from it, from the environment, from those whom you come into contact with, those things that were going to bolster your ego. You must take that out of the equation. You need to put your energy on the connection with that person you're working with and not think of the result or the success or failure of that particular moment or the success or failure of your career in terms of your reputation. It's reversed. Sometimes you put that in the equation and it must be removed. It will appear for you, but you mustn't focus on it. Focus on the work, focus on the energy. Allow that to come through you clearly, and then the rest will fall into place. There may be times when you feel that the energy is lost. It's not lost, it's being reformulated. I think you have to understand that the process will take a particularly easy, constant form. A lot of it has to do with the connection with the person. If the connection is not there, the energy gets blocked and it has no effect. You won't feel it and there will be no connection. There is a mutual understanding, this healing, to be healing, to heal, and to want to be healed. The energy that person comes to you with sometimes is it's black. Sometimes it has great trepidation. Sometimes it's shielded. It's nervous. It's frightened. And what you need to do is allow yourself as much as you possibly can to feel their state, to feel their energy as it comes to you. You need to clear yourself of ego in that moment. And I am not saying to lose sight of who you are, but to free yourself, to understand what is happening psychologically in that person at that time. It's almost like you become one with that person and you heal yourself. You understand their pain, you understand their anxiety, you feel it, and then the energy comes through you and it's healing both of you at the same time. It's about allowing yourself as best you can to unite with that energy. You're docking with the person and you're hoping that the more completely you dock with them, the easier it will flow through. So in order for you to do that very clearly, you need to pull yourself out of the equation because the energy transfer is going on in a very deep level and on a very deep subconscious level as well, because you're also healing the mind. You're not just healing the physical form. You have to learn how to remove your thought process from the equation. That's part of you honing, that's part of your honing skill, but you have to learn how to do that. You have to understand that those thoughts create vibrations. They actually create physical vibrations, and they can get in the way of the energy. It's like the channel gets jammed. The thoughts jam your energy. Isn't that interesting? Your thoughts create physical vibrations. That's, I mean, sorry, I had to highlight that. I read this chapter twice. That was the third time I read it tonight. It's so, some of these sentences are so powerful that it's like I have to read it and just sit down for a minute to sit with it. Like this first paragraph, like you're here to unveil those here with your heart. We carry your life through this medium. We're here to recognize a greater force that permeates your being. It's here to unveil those ideas that are foreign to those with whom you come in contact. Your life is that which is. It carries with it the entire energy of the universe in its minuscule form. Everything you need to know is already inside you. As above, so below, as within, so without. And I've heard that 3 times, excuse me, 3 times today through whether it was Joe Dispenza or Bruce Lipton or whoever I was listening to today, that it came through 3 times. I only remember Dr. Joe Dispenza I was listening to that it really came through, but I heard it a couple times. So these is talking about the energy, and there's a myriad of planes of energy. There's so many planes of energies around us, all around us, all the time. Like that non-physical energy. we I like to call it energy because it's like the non-physical. Like without our human physical form, we are non-physical energetic beings, beings of light. We're here living this human experience. So these energies formulate a character that carries you through. And that's kind of what the other video is going to do. These identities, these stories we tell ourselves become our identities, become our personalities, and shape our personal realities. Wow, I can't believe I remembered all that. But that's true. I mean, what do you identify with? What's the story you tell people when people ask, like, what you're about and what you do? Like, do you tell them the same old story that you've always been, or do you talk about the changes that you've gone through in your life? But you don't, like, I don't mean like talk about it, because I went through this very specific time after my, spiritual awakening, we'll call it, that I was in a state of fear still. Like I was really thinking the world was going to end and everything, that we had to, it was just bad. And I felt that I knew the answers because of the things that resonated with me and that made sense to me at that current state of consciousness that I was at, that level of consciousness, if you could put a level on it, that's what I believed in. And that's, no one could have told me any different at that time. And I thought that everybody should know and believe the same way that I did. And I got mad when people didn't believe me and didn't understand it and just like, okay, sure, whatever. Like I thought everyone had to do it. I had to know it. And I didn't understand why you couldn't know it and why you couldn't accept it. Hello, Kimberly Paulson. How you doing? So that's kind of what I was going to do my other video about. So like, what do you identify with? What do you, I used to identify as an athlete. I used to, when I was younger, and when I was in high school, I stopped playing sports and became a pothead. And I used to identify with being a pothead, but I still got good grades. So like I did that despite everything. And then After college, I got into drugs and I became a very uh, heavy addict, I guess you could say. Or I had a lot of drug use. Light warrior. Yes, I like that. So, I identified as being a drug addict. And then I got clean and I identified as being a recovering drug addict, because that's just what we tell ourselves. And that's the story we're at. And that's where we're at in our lives. And then, through many different series of events. I was going to say coincidences, but I don't believe in coincidences. After I had the vision and after, I went through the experiences and learned that I'm a healer, and then learned and have been honing my skills as a healer. Like, I identify as an energy healer, but I'm not just an energy healer. Like, that was the narrow view I had when I first learned these things. Like, I was a energy healer, and that's what I did. That's what I am about. That's like my only single focus, was to do the healing work, which, I still am very passionate about the healing work, and I will continue doing the healing work. But, I'm so much more than that. And so right now, I identify myself as a healer, a YouTuber, as, I'm a car salesman again, but I'm at a very, very nice uh, company that does business with integrity and compassion for the community, which is perfectly fitting for what I'm all about. I would not have gotten back into it if it wasn't for that. If they didn't do these things, if they didn't give back, that's the only thing that got me through the door to even talk to them, because that aligns with my values, what I believe is the right way of doing things. And that's that's kind of looking at it as a dualistic perspective, because then we're going into right and wrong when there's really no right or wrong. It's like, as long as you're acting within integrity and you're not harming other people, I don't really think there's anything wrong you can do. And that's a duality. Duality is right and wrong, light and dark, and yeah, we're in a very dualistic world. But 3D recovery. I survived the ascension. I like that, 3D recovery. That's funny. You're surviving the ascension. The ascension is not over. It will not be over for a long time. I think we're going to continue going through this for the rest of our lives, our children's lives, our grandchildren's lives. It's just going to keep on going, which is awesome, because our planet is in ascension status now. And I think that momentum we have built already is at a point to where there's no going back. You can't stop it. Putting it out there, yeah, long term. I got you, girlfriend. How you doing, by the way? Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful day and, enjoyed your family time and things like that. I enjoyed my alone time. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. Anyways, so you are now understanding the varieties of this force, and you need to hone specific energies as you feel them. There are myriad energies. Myriad means a lot. I looked it up. I had to look it up. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how to say it either. Um, there's so many energies around us all the time. Alone with cat. Awesome. Yeah, I got my brother and 2 cats. So it's like we feel the energies, and in a way, like, we perceive them as being, one energy. But in reality, in actuality, there are a number of very distinctly different types of energy that we access with these healing frequencies. And you need to recognize those forces and be able to play the energy as carefully as you can. I've noticed that I've been talking to somebody that I did a healing session. I don't know if I did a session, but I was just, doing healing work with this person, and like, I felt a really serious connection through my hands. It was like, and I only feel that with certain people. Um, Sorry, missed what you were reading. It's this Solomon Speaks, chapter 21. I was also saying earlier, I think before you got here, that I took down a lot of the beginning chapters that I read for copyright purposes. I don't want this whole book being out there and get in trouble for it. So I'll probably be removing these videos systematically in the future. So if anyone's interested in the links to them, let me know and maybe I can send them to you. All right, moving on. There was a specific paragraph that really stood out to me that I had to read a couple times earlier. Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say. But to really free yourself and remove yourself from this healing process is like, because when you attach yourself to a certain outcome or to anything, if you take credit for a healing that someone has, then you're gonna take credit for when someone doesn't have a healing, and it's not your fault. It's not your responsibility to heal that person. It's that person's responsibility. And I don't even want to call it a responsibility. It's their opportunity, and it's up to them whether they want to receive that energy, receive that healing or not. It's nothing. We can't force this onto anybody. We can't change people. We can't make people want to change. People can only change themselves. People can only decide to help themselves. You have experimented in the past. Now you need not necessarily experiment, but free yourself of the preconception of what you do and listen to the internal rhythm of your life. Your instinct is the music of your life. That will help you far more than cerebrally trying to project a type of energy field onto somebody. So it's about clearing, not complicating. Your life has much to offer now. Doesn't it though? I mean, life just keeps getting better. Like for me, I and people think I'm crazy, I'm sure. That I truly believe that everything is always working out for my highest good, no matter what it is. No matter if I lock myself out of my car or whatever happens, I see it in a big picture thing. You know, when I get flustered and frustrated and I'm doing too much and everything's going wrong for me, I sit and think like, oh, why is this happening? Like, am I creating that? Is this like, because I believe we create our own realities also. So is it your energy and your mind creating these things because you're allowing and building the momentum of those quote unquote negative thought forms. These, like I just said, the last chapter of this book, your thoughts create physical vibrations. So when you create these physical vibrations and continue with those thought patterns, you're creating that reality in your life. I hope that made sense. I was kind of all over the place with that one. Oh, you are now in a state of transition. I think that'll apply to me no matter what time of my life I read this book, that I'm always going to be in a state of transition. But right now I am in a very major state of transition and have been undergoing transitioning for the last year. And you have to let go of preconceptions because you're changing the form of the energy as it comes through you. It is going to be intensified as you free yourself from former thinking. Your former thinking, your patterns of thought are what are creating your current world, your current life. Merry Christmas, bless you, and thank you for all you do, sharing like this. Internet issues. Oh, I hope I'm not having internet issues. That really annoys me. I'll just keep going. It's going to be intensified as you free yourself from former thinking. When I first got into this healing work, that was some of the biggest changes I did was internally. I mean, that's this whole year is the biggest changes I've done is internally. I started losing a lot of weight quickly because I set an intention and told myself, I looked myself in the mirror every morning and said, you're going to lose 30 pounds just because your body knows how to process foods. Like my body knows how to handle the foods that I eat. It knows how to process the processed foods, and it's going to get all the nutrients and all the health benefits out of it. And it's going to discard all the rest, discard all the poisons, discard anything that's not for my highest good. And within 2 or 3 months, I lost 30 pounds without changing anything in my life. Now I was like still 200 pounds at that time, but you know, I started identifying myself as like an athlete. Like I always just tell myself every day that, I have the fit body of an athlete. And 6 months later, I have the fit body of an athlete. And I haven't worked out. I haven't I've done some diet changes and I eat more consciously now and I stopped ingesting as much poison. I like to call them poisons because that programs my mind to not eat those kinds of foods, to not drink the sodas and things with sugar. Like I really try to stay away with sugar because it is poison. Sugar is poison. Now I still have sugar because I like sweet things like chocolate, but I can't have the milk either because the dairy just really messes with my stomach. So it's very limited, but I used to have loads of sugar, like so much sugar in my coffee. I'd eat sweets and candies and soda and juice. Like I don't do any of that now. Like, and maybe every now and then, but the chocolate I can, or the chocolate, the sugar, if any, that I have throughout the day is very minuscule. But I don't drink like tap water either because that contains fluoride and chlorine and everything else that's in it. So I only drink purified bottled water. There's that uh, that fluoride in the water is like it calcifies your pineal gland and it really keeps you from awakening, keeps you from having those esoteric experiences that you're capable of. Because there's a whole other myriad of energies all around us. There's an entourage of angels around each and every one of you. Scotty boy. Yeah, that's the cross country guy. That's right. How you doing, Scotty boy? Hope all is well, brother. Yeah, that's another thing I identify with, that I traveled across the country. These are the things that I identify with now. That's the new person and personality that I've created, which has shifted my personal reality. Like everything in my life has changed, even though now I'm back in the same surroundings, the same environment that I started in a year ago, but everything is different. Thanks, brother. Much love to you too, man. I like talking about these things because I hope it inspires someone else that this is possible. All you got to do is believe in it, believe in yourself, take action towards a change. If you want to change, if there's something about you that you don't like, make a plan. Do affirmations, start meditating. If I can convey anything to anybody, it is to meditate for 10 minutes every morning. Just get centered. You probably don't even know what that means. Just find a balanced place and shut your mind off for 10 minutes every day. Literally think about nothing to the best of your ability. And you'll be shocked at how that can change your life. I've been watching your journey. What a crazy ride we are all on. Yeah. Thanks, brother. I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I've had a blast. I've had some not so fun times too, so they're all learning experiences. They're all experiences, and you grow from it, good and bad. You learn, and you really start to know what you want and what you don't want, and you stop entertaining the things in your life that you don't want, that you no longer that are no longer serving you. And tonight with this solar eclipse that's going on tonight, I think it's at like 12:13 or something tonight. The solar eclipse is on the other side of the world, but it's still happening. It's still, the energies are here. And I don't know, I gotta look it up, but this is like the fourth, fifth, or sixth solar eclipse this year, or eclipse. I don't know if they're all solar eclipse, lunar eclipses, whatever. You know what I mean? But that's a lot. Like, I don't remember that ever happening in my lifetime. I could be wrong, but I don't remember that. The energies on the planet are shifting dramatically. They're shifting quickly. People's perceptions are shifting really quickly. It's going down tomorrow night, the 26th. Is it tomorrow night? I thought it was tonight. It's technically the 26th at 12. I guess it would be tomorrow night. Yeah, you're right. Whatever. Tomorrow night. Still, the energy is just crazy, and we're in these different like gap days, galactic activation portals, where, like, if you guys follow Luna Ash, or if you don't, I would recommend doing so, because her insights to the non-physical, to the astrology world, are second to none, in my opinion. Like, the information that she gets is like amazing. So yeah, I really lost track of where I was going with this book, but that's all right. Focus on the work, focus on the energy, allow that to come through you clearly, and then the rest will fall into place. So instead of worrying about your success or failures of maybe your career, now this doesn't have to be with, like, as you as a healer, this could literally be with any aspect of your life. Now, okay, so let's see. It's talking about your ego, that you must remove your egoic or egocentric thought process from the thing. Basically, to remove yourself from the healing. So I don't know how to relate that to your everyday life. Remove yourself from the outcomes. Don't be attached to outcomes. Don't have expectations of other people. Don't expect things to turn out any particular way. Like, I try my hardest to not have expectations of people. That way you don't get disappointed when they don't live up to your expectations. And they also don't know what your expectations are, because you're not telling them. So the expectations are just really, really slippery slope to be on. So I say, I don't know, buddy. There may be times that you feel that the energy is lost. It's not lost, it's being reformulated. Early on, when I was doing this, I I did notice at particular times that I felt as if I couldn't access the energies the same. I felt like it wasn't as strong when I was doing the healing work. It's 3:30 when I said that. But like, I was doing a session with somebody. I think it was someone. I think it was Rebecca Sofa. If you guys remember back from like last January, February, I did a couple healing sessions with her. She lives over in the UK. But it was one time, and I had to do the sessions really early in the morning because of the time difference. It was like a 5 or 6 hour time difference, or eight. I don't remember. Maybe it was an 8 hour difference. But the one time I just felt like like, I didn't feel the energies, and I felt like I was letting that person down. But I talked to her after the experience, after the session, and she still had a really great experience, even though I didn't think it was working. And I read this in the book and was like, interesting, very interesting. It's being reformulated. But I think you have to understand that the process will take a particularly easy, constant form. And also to really just not attach yourself to the healing. Like, if a healing, or if someone has a good experience or not, like, you can't attach to that. Is if if a person comes to you and the connection is not there, the energy gets blocked and it has no effect. You won't feel it. There will be no connection. There's mutual understanding. This healing, to be healing, to heal, and to want to be healed. So the energy that someone comes to you with can block the healing also. They can block them from receiving any of that because they just won't allow it in. So, and I was talking to someone last night, and I was telling them about how sensitive I am to energies now, to other people's energies, that that I really feel that, and it's easy for you to sink down to that energy when you feel someone's in a bad mood, but I've noticed myself doing that, and but I do it for a purpose. Like I'm doing it to relate to the person, to bring them back up to a higher spirits, to bring them back into a better place if I can. So that's interesting. But I do pick up on other people's energies like quite strongly. Like if someone's sad or someone's angry, like I feel their anxiety, I feel their anger, and it's like I got to separate myself. I got to free myself from it because I know it's not mine. Because you just don't get angry out of nowhere. Like you can't be in. Okay, I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to say it. So you can experience a true, like, profound love feeling of energy from thinking about nothing. You cannot feel anger or anxiety from thinking about nothing. It's not possible. You just can't do it. So when you're in a good place, like I'm very slow to anger. Like I am an extremely patient person usually. And when I feel anger come out of nowhere, like I immediately recognize that that's somebody else's. Like, why am I feeling that? Like, where did that come from? And that's like if I'm with a group of people, if I'm by myself and get angry, it's probably because of the thoughts that I allowed or that I entertained that are creating that emotion within me. And we are in control of our emotions for the most part. If you're not, then meditate and gain control of those emotions. You are in control of this physical vessel. This is your vehicle for ascension. I like that. So I'm wrinkling my book all up. So you have to understand that those thoughts create vibrations. They actually create physical vibrations, and they can get in the way of the energy. It's like a channel gets jammed. The thoughts jam your energy. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. This has been on for almost 40 minutes. It's crazy. I feel like it's been 10 minutes. So your thoughts jam your energy. Your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts can lead you to a feeling of joy or anger and anxiety and pain and dis-ease. Most dis-ease is caused by inflammation, which is caused because we live our lives, and it's mostly caused because of this, because we live our lives in a state of fight or flight, in a state of stress and drama, and that puts our body into a fight or flight mode, and that uses like all of the energy from your body for that anxiety, for that emotion, that stress. When you can relax and just and be at ease, then you're no longer going to experience that inflammation, that dis-ease. It's incredible to me how much power we actually have over ourselves, over our state of mind, over our state of being, over our physical form. Like it's really powerful. I got you, Scotty boy. Just joking with you in my own kind of humor. I worry for nothing. I don't know what I was worried about. I don't know what I said. So, anyways. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I love y'all. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification button. Hit the like button if you like. Hit the dislike button if you don't like. You know, whatever. Whatever you feel called to do, man. This is all about you. It's not about me. Where's the buttons? All right, guys. I love each and every one of you. Be the change that you want to see in this world, because it all starts with you. All right, I love you guys. Bye bye.